Welcome to today's Explainer. Tonight, we're diving headfirst into a nightmare. We're going to trace a sequence of events known simply as the last passenger. I want you to really focus in with me here as we follow what should be a perfectly ordinary late-night commute, but one that completely spirals into pure, suffocating dread. Let's start the journey. Have you ever been the absolute last passenger on a late-night bus? I mean, really sit with that question for a second. Think about the deep, heavy isolation of that environment, the hum of the engine, that eerie feeling of being completely enclosed in a metal box moving through pitch darkness, that inescapable confinement. Well, that is exactly where our nightmare begins. It's exactly 2:17 a.m., and the last bus is departing Bengaluru's majestic bus stand. It's not just late. We are in the dead of night. And outside those windows, a heavy, relentless rain is pouring down, completely cutting this vehicle off from the rest of the world. Inside the bus, the isolation is absolute. There are exactly 3 people on board. You've got the driver up front, just trying to navigate these dark, rain-slicked roads. You have the conductor, and then there's a young man named Arjun, sitting all the way in the very last seat. He's completely separated from the other 2, just quietly staring out the window at the empty streets rolling by. Section 1. The deserted bus stop. After several minutes of this sort of hypnotic, rainy drive, the bus pulls up to a completely deserted stop. Total, heavy silence, until it's just instantly shattered. The conductor suddenly screams out, "Don't open the door!" There's no build-up here, no rational explanation. Just a sudden, panicked command from the one person whose actual job it is to let passengers on the bus. So why did he shout? Well, looking through the pouring rain, Arjun sees her. There's a woman standing outside. She's wearing a red saree, and her hair hangs straight down, completely covering her face. And she isn't moving at all, just this perfectly still figure standing in a torrential downpour. But you know what? Despite the conductor's frantic warning, the driver reaches out and opens the door. Section 2. The Woman in Red. The door is open now, and the woman slowly steps inside, walks straight down the aisle, and heads directly to the back to take the seat right next to Arjun. But as she sits down, Arjun notices something physically impossible. Outside, it is absolutely pouring, but the woman? Her clothes are completely, entirely bone dry. There's not a single drop of water on her saree. And then, this motionless woman finally speaks. In a low, dry whisper, she turns and asks this incredibly strange question. Are you going to the old bridge? Arjun is absolutely terrified. He's just trying to appease this deeply unsettling presence, so he simply nods his head. She just smiles at him, and then she whispers, I died there. Just a cold, casual admission of death in the middle of a heavy rainstorm. Section 3. The empty seat. Right away, Arjun's survival instinct kicks in. He violently whips his head up toward the front of the bus, desperately looking for the conductor to help him. But the conductor? He's already staring right back at Arjun in pure absolute horror. Because Arjun is sitting completely alone. In the fraction of a second it took for him to turn his head, the woman beside him impossibly vanished into thin air. And the nightmare just escalates from here. The bus suddenly and violently grinds to a halt. The driver turns around, completely pale, like all the blood has just drained right out of his face. He's completely speechless. He just points a trembling finger toward the window. The bus has stopped directly in front of the old bridge, and right there, just lying crumpled on the wet road outside, is a woman's red saree. It's the exact same saree Arjun just saw on the woman sitting right next to him mere moments ago. The conductor is literally shaking at this point. He whispers the horrifying truth to the others. A woman died on this exact bridge exactly 10 years ago tonight. Suddenly, the timeline clicks perfectly, terrifyingly into place. But wait, because there's one more terrifying piece of evidence inside the bus itself. Arjun slowly looks back down at the empty seat beside him, and he notices wet footprints forming on the floor. Step 1. They begin right beside his seat, exactly where the perfectly dry woman was just sitting. Step 2, these impossible wet footprints just continue, step by step, heading straight toward the front of the bus. Section 4. The dead phone rings. The creeping silence of those invisible approaching footprints is abruptly shattered by a loud, sudden ringing. In the dead quiet of the halted bus, the driver's phone starts to ring. He slowly reaches out and answers it. At first, there's nothing, just dead silence on the line. But then, a woman's spectral voice slowly comes through the receiver. "Why did you leave me here again?" The driver completely drops the phone in absolute terror, because you see, the call wasn't coming from outside the bus. It wasn't someone calling from the road or a cell tower. It was coming from the bus's own internal emergency phone, an emergency phone that had been physically disconnected for 10 years. So the next time you find yourself commuting late at night, in the dark, with the rain pouring down outside, maybe take a quick look at the empty seat beside you. As you're taking all of this in right now, are you absolutely sure you're sitting alone?